Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Almine, better known as Daiki Almine on TikTok. Today's video will be going through the 15 types of players in GymClass VR. But make sure you watch through this whole video because we'll have a very special one at the end. My goal for the end of March is 900 subscribers. I know we can do it. It is a lot, but I know we can do it. All my socials will be in the description down below. Let's try to get 30 likes on this video. Like, subscribe, and let's get right into it. Right, so here we are. You've just loaded into GymClass for the very first time and you're confused what to do. You're probably doing the shot calibration tutorial right now, or doing the dunk tutorial. You're struggling to use physical jump because you don't know how to work, and you're also struggling to dunk and shoot the ball. Of course, this one's pretty self-explanatory. You don't know how to dribble, you've just started, very confused, and you might think this game is not for you, so you'll leave and probably never play again. Or if you are intrigued by the game and you really like it, we go on to the next one. And this is the dunker. So you found your way into public matches and you've started playing around. And you've also found out that you can turn off physical jump, which can make you jump normally without crouching. With this mechanic, you've realized that you can dunk the ball way easier than having to crouch down and jump. You've also found out that the gravity is a little bit weird on these public matches, and this is called arcade physics. You're probably a really chill guy. You just go into matches not looking to play any games or talk to anyone. You just want to see if you can 360 windmill, 360 dunk, and you overall just have so much fun playing the game. And for all you dunkers, please turn your mic off because all we hear while we're trying to play 1v1 games is this. And as you can see, it is really annoying. If you don't know how to mute your mic, all you need to do is open the menu and you see this little red thing that should be green. As you can see, I'm talking, and all you do is click it and it'll mute your mic. And that brings us to our next type of player. Now this next one is the pubs player. So you've played the game just a little bit, not enough that you know how to dribble or shoot, but you've played enough so you know the mechanics of the game, you know how to dunk, and you've also figured out that you can play against other people. When you first become a pubs player, you find that it is so much fun to dunk on people. Of course, you don't know how to dribble, so you move your arms around like this so they can't get the ball. And of course, you find some friends along the way. Speaking of friends, this brings us to our next type of player. The player who plays just for fun. All you really do is go around and play with friends, like to dunk the ball a lot. And honestly, this is where you make the most friends along the way. You've tried to dribble a little bit and you kind of know the basics. You're not amazing because the ball gets slipped away and the ball gets grabbed from you in pubs matches. But you begin to realize this game's not all about dunking, there's a lot more to do. And the next type of player is the experimenter. The experimenter knows how to dunk a lot and they've decided to move on to dribbling and shooting the ball. They don't really know how to shoot the ball, they're kind of really bad, so they ask other people for their settings to try experiment to see which settings are the best. Side note, do not ask people for the settings, it's all about preference. I made a video on that right here. So if you really do want to know how to shoot, make sure you look at this video. Other than that, you've practiced dribbling, you've looked at videos online, how to dribble on GymClass VR, you've figured out how to control the ball a little more. And this is kind of where you begin to be a little solo player just so you can get better at the game. This game is really fun, so now you kind of want to be considered a really good player in the game. And to do that, that brings me to my next one, which is the I'm just practicing player. This is the beginning to where you become a pro GymClass player. You've decided to practice how to dribble the ball and how to shoot, and you either go into solo lobbies with no one in them, or you'll go into absolutely packed lobbies and they're probably waiting for an extra player and you tell them I'm just practicing, which is really annoying because most of the time it turns out you're the one that doesn't want to hop in the spots and everybody else is waiting for a game to play. So just go into an empty gym, it's not really hard to find one. But yeah, this is the beginning of your villain era. Figured out how to dribble efficiently, and you found the exact settings on how to shoot. You've seen so many tutorials online. You've started watching more NBA, college basketball, G League. So you're very familiar with the sport of basketball and you know how to play the game. But the problem is, you're still a pubs player. You've been playing so many games, you've literally been winning all of them with your friends. You've figured out how to dribble in pubs matches without people grabbing the ball off you. And that brings me to my next type of player, which is the pubs sweat. The pub sweat actually knows how to shoot and actually knows how to dribble. He's found his own way how to dribble in public matches without getting the ball taken from him, and he dunks on nearly everyone. He also shoots a lot of jump shots, and people complain that he tryhards and sweats. And he's most likely heard about the competitive community and thinks that the physics are so unrealistic in the Discord servers, and they think physics like this is realistic to life. They've also probably found out about GM/GymClass Pro mode, which gives you a free private court that you can play in and customize as much as you want, gives you a free skin, and also lets you customize your own character and make it look like however you want to make it. This is also the phase where you probably buy skins and stuff to match your friends. Every session you play, you take off your headset and you're drenched in sweat from moving your arms so much. You think that you can beat everyone in the competitive community if they played pub's rules, and you absolutely sweat out the game. Now the next player we come across, or you will come across, is the player that is in the TikTok phase. They've seen somebody running around with some weird skin that they've never seen before and they can't buy in the store, and they ask them about it and they tell them they are a content creator. This is how everyone starts. They start in pub matches and they start posting TikTok videos, and their videos will either get no views at the start or get a bunch of views. They meet the requirements, and a few weeks later they get the beautiful content creator skin. Obviously they're going to use the skin all the time, post videos about it, thanking their supporters. And this is the start to a bunch of huge content creators such as myself, Swealo, Woke Gaming, and Net, for example. You begin to get creative with your content and you really enjoy TikTok. So you know how to shoot, you know how to dribble in pubs matches. Pubs matches are beginning to feel really easy and don't seem anything like a challenge until you start talking to people in the Discord, and they recommend transitioning into the Discord servers, and this is the start of a new player. And this player is in the transition. So you're absolutely bored of pubs games. You win everyone and you want to have a new challenge, which is competitive games. And this transition is really hard. A whole bunch of new rules, a whole bunch of new physics, a whole bunch of new amazing players, and you feel like a noob again. These are the type of players that you see accidentally snatching in matches because they just forget the rules and it's a habit, or they begin snatching and everyone complains to them and most likely reports them. Yet the transitioner most likely complains about the new physics and they can't jump too high and it's not realistic. They're trying to do all these mad windmills but they don't get it, and they kind of have a little bit of trouble until they start practicing and they begin to be that I'm just practicing guy again. They practice the shot, they practice the physics, and they eventually get so used to the game that they become the casual. The casual knows Discord rules. These are probably the people that you normally will play 1v1s against and beat. You don't really think about them as, okay, this kid was absolutely amazing. They're just another player that you play against and get a free win off. You just stick to basic dribbling and dunks. And that brings us to the next player, the competitive player. You're beginning to become a pro, but you're not quite pro yet. You win about 50% of your games, and you finally started shooting behind the arc to finish the game. You've got way better dribbles now. In the Discord server, a lot communicating with other content creators asking how to get better, and you're really focused on becoming a really good player. You've looked at loads of tutorials on how to become a pro GymClass player, and you're following them and trying to practice as much as you can. You know a little bit on how to lay up. You make 2 out of 10 shots from the corner. So you're getting better, but you're not quite there. So you're trying your hardest to get better, but you don't really know what to do. And that brings us to our next type of player, which I call the one skill Bill. You're probably confused about this player, never heard it ever, and that's because I just invented it. And this is a player who has been practicing on one skill for a long time. And this most likely turns out to be shooting, mainly 3-point shots. They begin to practice and practice the 3-point shots for hours and hours and hours, to the point where their 1v1 games look like this. Yes, as you can see, the problem is that's all they do in the game. This leads to them losing their other skills like dribbling, and even they start to get blocked when they do dunks. So yeah, this is around the point where the player begins to realize that focusing on one skill is so boring. They don't know how to do defense, they don't know how to dribble, and they lose so much skill. So they begin practicing again, and that brings us to our next type of player. They become the all-around good player. This player's been practicing for a long time. They know how to use the dribbles, they know how to lay up, they know how to shoot, they know how to shoot from different angles, and they also know how to be a good defensive player. They've become a really good player to the point where they're winning either 70 or 80% of all their games, which leads to the next player, the pro GymClass player. This player is winning 90% of his games. He's had the 1000 win skin for at least 7 months now, and he's just really good at the game. This is the really fun part on your journey. This is where a lot of people know you, a lot of people start talking really good about you and giving you a high reputation, and you begin to feel really good at the game. You can get better. So you try out something, you go on Discord and you ask anybody if there's any leagues, and you may or may not join tournaments or league games. And that brings me to my next type of player, which is the league/tournament player. This is someone that signed up for the Friendly Fire tournaments, or is in different types of huge leagues such as Fames League, GBLC, and even the GOM. This is where you start playing with all these amazing players that are way better than you. You start picking up all these new friends along the way that will teach you new skills and how to play the game way better. And this is when you slowly become an amazing player. You start shooting fadeaways. You start shooting really tough shots. You start practicing from the corner a lot. And this is when you become one of the best players in the whole game. Of course, this is the 15th type of player, but this isn't the best you can be, because we have an extra type of player that not many people are at, and even I'm struggling to get at that point, but I'm slowly becoming to be at that point. So for the bonus type of player, this is the player that is NBA level. This is players that literally win 100% of the games. Their court vision is amazing, their dribbling never fails. They barely miss any shots. If you tell them to shoot at any place, they will shoot and will make it. There are very little players in this game, and I don't even think anyone has mastered this level yet. And it's kind of a competition who can get to that NBA level. So yeah, this player is completely unknown, and we probably won't see them for a long time. And that will wrap it up for this video. Please comment if you enjoyed this video, or comment if you think there are other players that I didn't mention. Let's try get to 900 subs by the end of March. I know we can do it. 30 likes on this video. All my links will be in the description down below, and of course I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.